And now, right to your host of this House of Musicians, Barry Smith.
Hey, welcome, good listeners, to this House of Musicians music radio show on Reality Radio 101. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us as we do our small part to help promote musicians, bands, and venues. Gary, how are you?
I'm fine, Bear. I think our guest is here. He's arrived.
I am so excited. Folks, this evening we have Mattmac on the show. And Mattmac is an amazing young musician. And I think I found him through Eric Elper, who sends me emails, promoter, I'm assuming, sends me emails every day of local musicians or Canadian-wide musicians. And Eric passed me on to David Hodges, and they've both been wonderful to contact Mattmac to have him on the show. Mattmac, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, bud. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've been watching your videos, and like I say, I found you through Eric Alper, which is so there's people. I want you to know there's people out there working hard to complete your talent and get you moving forward. So I'm glad to see that. How are you doing today? You're doing good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's talk about this now. Do you want me to call you Matthew, or what do you like, Mattmac, or?
You can call me Matt. Mattmac.
I would like to do that since that's your stage name. That's awesome. Let me start with this then, my friend. How did you get that name? How did you come up with that?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you guys for having me here. So the name Mattmac is kind of a funny story because this was a while ago. This was like before I was really writing, before I was really like recording professionally, but how did I get the name Mattmac? Well, I love telling the story. So it was,
I'm dying to hear it, my friend.
This is an interesting story. So I would back then I would go on this voice chat app, this voice chat app. I would go on frequently. I still do go on pretty frequently, but my screen name, my display name, every time I would log on to this app, because it was cross-platform. So there would be, this app was available for like Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android, all that. So I had it on my computer. I have a MacBook, and because I have this app on like all across my devices. So to differentiate between like which device I was logged on, I logged onto my computer as Matt on Mac. So that was my display name.
Gotcha.
So I logged in one day, and one of my friends from the blind community, he was like, "Hey, look, it's Matt on Mac," and he's like, and then he just like said, he just kept saying Matt on Mac, and then he just said Mattmac. I was like,
really?
that's fun to say, and I was like, bro. Because I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When I first said that, when he first said that to me, yeah. When he first said that, I wasn't really a fan of it, and it took me a while to like grow into that.
Sure.
So I was like, bro, don't call me that again. And then like he just kept at it. He was like persistent with the nickname, and I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is something I could get used to, and then. I was like Mattmac. I started using that as my like producer name. And that's when that was around the time when I was really started producing music with like Logic Pro X, and I just started using Mattmac, and it just stuck.
Yeah, and it suits you. It really does. So I bet your friend's pretty proud of the fact that you're going around doing gigs and writing music and producing other musicians and whatnot using that name. I bet he's stoked.
I have no idea. Like, I actually we lost touch. We got out of touch because, like I said, the blind community is interesting, and people come and go. So like, I got to talk to him again, but I'm pretty sure he will be kind of stoked to see that he was the one who like gave me this nickname, and I was like, okay, now I'm doing music with this.
Good for you. That's amazing, Mattmac. Now, I want to say you're from Garden Hill First Nation, Manitoba, OG Cree. You're 21 now then?
I am 20. I will be turning 21. Wow, next month.
Next month. So you're 20 years old, bud. And I mean, how can I say this? What an accomplishment to now. Do you still live in Garden Hill on the Garden Hill First Nation?
As of right now, yes. That's where I'm talking to you from right now.
Good for you. You're keeping your roots real. You're still there. But I mean, what a success story. It's not every day that anybody can come off, a First Nation of any kind. And get, as far ahead as you have already. So congratulations for that. We know that you're blind. You can't see. Talk about that for a bit.
Yeah. So, I've been blind since birth. I don't really know exactly what my condition is, but I have like a very limited light perception, and like one eye is like completely covered over with skin, and the other one is like it's partially open, but like the eyeballs didn't like properly develop when I was a young one, I guess. So I don't know. I can't say for my condition or something like that.
No, but look at what you've accomplished. So now for you, when you write a song or you produce something, you probably hear it way better than anybody else. And the impulse from inside the heart, man, like you must be able to feel it like really strong by not having sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. For me, it's like, yeah, I believe like my other senses, because like obviously I can't see. For me, I think honestly, I just think my senses are normal. The only reason why it's so extra is because like I depend on it more than another person would. So like
exactly,
I could totally I get what I say. It's like when I produce or when I write something, I do feel it. It's like it's emotion.
Complete emotion, buddy. That's where it comes from, the heart. And I've watched some of your videos. I absolutely love Paradise. I watched the whole thing with Nelly for don't let me say her name wrong. I wrote it down even. It's not like I said her name before. Furtado, Nelly Furtado. I'm sorry, Nelly. This is I've watched that whole video, and it just captured my heart, man. You're just an amazing talent. Mattmac, let's talk about, my friend, how you were influenced by music when you were younger. Did your folks have albums or play music on the radio, or how did you become influenced by music? And who were you influenced by? Who did you listen to when you were? Now I'm saying when you were younger. Geez, you're only 20, so I guess I would say a few years ago. See, we're old farts over here.
Yeah, sure. So this is how I generally got into music. I was growing up. I was surrounded by music a lot. Not like people who like. I was surrounded by like a lot of music because my mom would always have like country and gospel playing all the time, and cool. She would always encourage me to go sing at the local gospel jamborees here in the community, and also I would see my older siblings quite frequently, and when I'd see them, they would always be playing their music. So like through my older siblings, I would hear a lot of rap and rock. So I'd say growing up, my music was everywhere from rock, rap, country, gospel. Yeah, that's what I really grew up with. And that's what really, I guess that was the beginning of like the beginning of the very early stages of Mattmac's development, and like the music that I listened to, the music that I grew up listening to, and the music that I'm listening to now is just.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be different. Great. Like, it's great, but it would be different. But can you pinpoint somebody? Like, was it Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison, that you went, wow, this is great? Or Merle Haggard country? Or was it like somebody that does gospel? Do you remember who you first went, wow, this is great?
I don't know if I've had that moment, but like I was always into singing. So like I've been singing since I was 4 years old. So like getting into music like through that way. In my head, I was thinking, I don't know who exactly, but this musician by the name of David Harper. Um, he's based out of here in Garden Hill, but I think he lives in Winnipeg now. Um, he was singing at a local gospel jamboree, and my mom was over washing the dishes. This was when I was like young. This is like one of the many few stories I remember. But I remember thinking back on it now. It's like um, listening to David Harper sing, and I was like thinking, standing by the speakers, I was thinking, it's like, wow, I want to do that. I want to make my voice do that. How do I do that?
Cool.
My young curious mind wanted to figure out how I can do that with my vocal cords. It's like, but yeah, that's like really the beginnings of like my music and like my early roots.
Yeah, absolutely. And what were you doing first? Were you producing or were you writing songs?
I'd say I was producing music first. So Mattmac.
And how did that come to be? Sorry, how did that come to be?
So how did I start producing music? Well, by the age of 12.
Wow.
13, 14, by the age of like 12, 13, 14, around that time period, I had started really getting into like technology, like laptops, what's Windows. I was like, wanted to get into that. I was more on that tip. So around that time, I got a laptop for Christmas. And then I think it was like a following year, I got like another piano. I got like a piano for Christmas, and I really took those two, and I really just started to develop my skills with like recording and multi-track recording. And that's when I like fell in love with like producing music, like making music and recording, or the art of recording.
Sorry, let me cut you off, man. That is so hard to do for somebody who can see. Mattmac, how can you do all this when you can't really see that well or can't see at all? Please, I'm so intrigued.
So yeah, sure. In most modern technology, whether it be a phone, whether it be a computer, whether it be a laptop, whether it be a tablet, there's usually some sort of accessibility features or programs or software that is made for people with visual impairments like me.
Okay.
And I use a screen reader.
Sorry, say that again.
I use a screen reader on a lot of the products and software and product hardware that I use.
Sure.
So yeah.
But still, it's probably a lot more time consuming, and I'm just very impressed and intrigued that you could do so much like that. So good for you. So you're producing now. Do you remember when you wrote your first song?
I don't remember when I wrote my first song, but I remember when I wrote my first actual song that I put out into the world, that I uploaded to YouTube. It wasn't even like professionally released or anything. I just wanted to put out a song, and I remember like I was going through some family drama that day, and then I remember it's like, okay, I have this energy that I need to release and let out, and like I need to get my mind off this. So it's like, okay, man, I know we haven't really been perfecting songwriting, but we're gonna try it again. We're gonna sit down. And an hour, 2 hours later, came out this song called "Staying True," which is on my YouTube still to this day.
Yeah. Good for you. No, that's amazing. So you wrote your first song. So when you did you write, now I know you wrote some songs before that. So you took this song and you put it on the internet and you put it out online.
Yeah.
And it got some good reviews from what I hear.
Staying True. It was like interesting when I put it out. It was like the first thing I put out under the name Mattmac.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. And so let's do this then, Mattmac. Now, you gave us two of your songs. You wrote both these songs, I'm assuming. Break Me Down and Think Too Much, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want to play first? We didn't have a chance to talk before the show, but which one would you like to play first, or does it matter? We have Break Me Down and Think Too Much. And what we'll do, my friend, is we'll play the song, and then we'll come back and talk about what the song's about and where you recorded it and how you wrote it, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. Let's start off with Break Me Down.
Break Me Down. Folks, I have a very talented young man here with me from Garden Hill First Nation, Manitoba. 20 years old, 475 kilometers north of Winnipeg. What a young talent that we have here, and I'm wishing you all the best, Mattmac, in your future. You're so young. You have so much time ahead of you. You've got, as I say, Eric Alper, David Hodges behind you. You got people wanting you to do good, including myself. Folks, let's listen to one of Mattmac's songs that he wrote called Break Me Down on this House of Musicians radio show right here on Reality Radio 101.
I'm up in my mind again, damn, I don't know. I'm looking for them better days, I'm losing hope. I'm trying to be a better me, look what I become. I'm out here living my dreams now. Ain't nobody gon' break me down. I swear they wanna see me fall, but I ain't gon' give up now. I know I gotta break down the walls, just know I'll be fine. Growing up in the res, it wasn't always easy. I remember feeling like life wasn't for me. Searching for my dream, trying to find my way out. Searching for some answers just to find some clarity. Now I'm here, I'm looking back at them days. I've come a long, long way. I made a few mistakes, but I know that I will make it one day, yo. Finding myself in all this pain, yo. I couldn't do this by myself, I got my mom to thank. All the things you're going through, mom, it'll get better. When I blow up, I'll promise to send you letters. I know this ain't easy to hear, but I'm up in my mind again, damn, I don't know. I'm looking for them better days, I'm losing hope. I'm trying to be a better me, look what I become. I'm out here living my dreams now. Ain't nobody gon' break me down. I swear they wanna see me fall, but I ain't gon' give up now. I know I gotta break down the walls, just know I'll be fine. I'm up in my mind again, damn, I don't know. I'm looking for them better days, I'm losing hope. I'm trying to be a better me, look what I become. I'm out here living my dreams now. Ain't nobody gon' break me down. I swear they wanna see me fall, but I ain't gon' give up now. I know I gotta break down the walls, just know I'll be fine.
Hey, what an introduction back in, Gary. Wow. That's awesome, man.
You're welcome.
Folks, I have a very talented young man on the show this evening, Mattmac. Mattmac, we just listened to Break Me Down. Let's talk about that song a bit, my friend, how you came up with, how you wrote the song and what it means to you.
Yeah, sure. First of all, that song is real personal to me because that song still means a lot, and that song still applies to me today, because it's just what it is. It's basically, the song is basically talking about breaking down your barriers and accomplishing your dreams, and that's what the main song was about. It talks a little bit about my struggles of growing up in the reserve, a little bit about my struggles that I deal with now. It's funny because I remember I still remember the day I written and recorded that song as if it was yesterday. It was like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to go to school. I missed my ride, my bus to school.
Good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
and
what
I remember,
came out of it.
Yeah, that's what I think now too. And I remember thinking like, I don't think my mom wouldn't mind me if I just stay home for the day. And she didn't. And I remember it was just like me and her the whole entire day. And I remember the door was like slightly open now, and I normally record with the door closed, but it's like I really want to record something, so I started going through instrumentals and beats on YouTube, and I was like, I really want to record something, but I didn't know what to record, so I found this instrumental. I usually produce tracks on my own, but like this particular one, I was just like, okay, I need to write to this. And an hour later, Break Me Down was complete, and it was just the like spur of the moment song. Like,
sure,
nothing was really planned. As like, I was supposed to be in school. I was supposed to be in class that day, that very hour, but instead, I sat down and recorded a song, gave my mom a shout out in the song as well, and it's just like I said earlier, that song still applies to me today. Like, none of that has changed, and that song was recorded over a year ago.
Good for you, and it's probably the best thing that ever came out of a missed school day.
I can definitely second that.
So I know you mentioned your mom in the song. I'm sure she's your biggest inspiration. Let's talk about your mom for a bit.
Yeah, sure. So my mom is everywhere. She's a hard worker, and she's one of my biggest inspirations today. It's like, I see her work ethic, and it's like, man, that's crazy. Like, amount of things you do, and the amount of things she does for herself, for her community, and for, most importantly, her family. And she has such like a work ethic that's like, I don't know, personally, to me, it can't be unmatched. And that just inspires me to put in more work and put in more, like, just to be more of a human, of a better human.
Absolutely, bud. That's just such great words. I'm sure your mom's very proud of you, as are so many other people. You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so I have about 3 brothers, 2 older brothers and 1 younger, and I have 1 sister.
And so what do they think about this, you being a little rock star?
Man, they love it, I guess. They just like the fact my sister comes in here, but like, what's up, Mattmac? Okay, whatever happened, you just calling me Matthew. They're pretty proud, and I know that, like, I share my successes with them, and I celebrate my successes with them, and they tell me that they're proud, and I see the support. If they like talk about me in an artist way, and like they definitely support. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, good. I'm sure they do. I mean, they're like, I can't say it enough, stress it enough how talented you are. I got a couple emails here. I want to read them. This one's from Adam, and Adam says, "Hey all, love Mattmac, so cool, very creative, rock on." That's from Adam. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that.
There's one from Brenda D. Brenda said, "Music from the heart. Love it. Good luck to Matthew. Do you have a website?" Let's talk about your online presence and tell everybody where they can go and purchase your music and read all about you.
Yeah. So, music. You can get my music everywhere. you can just like everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You can even get my music from my Bandcamp, mattmac.bandcamp.com. And if you go to mattmacmusic.com, you'll be able to find out a lot about me and who I am, and all of my music and videos, and yeah.
Yeah, folks, and do yourself a favor and look Mattmac up. He's got some beautiful videos out there and great songs, and you're a really good singer too. I have an email here from Chase B, and Chase says, "Hi, I'm a truant officer, but I forgive Matt. What a song, loved it, very nice." I think he's just being funny.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you, Chase. That's. We do get some emails come in. What is usually your writing process, Mattmac? Do you write to get the music first and then put the words to it? Or do you write a poem, or do you write a whole song out of words and then you put music to it? Or
yeah, so this is how I normally do it. So normally I'm a very production guy. I love production. So literally the production is what half of the time it drives my lyrics and like my melodies. So I normally would like to have either an instrumental in front of me or like some form of composition. And so I like to make beats. Sometimes I'd like to write to my own beats. A lot of the times I write to my own beats. So sometimes I just go through beats on my computer, and if I find a beat that I like, load it up into a project, and then sit down, try to come up with melodies, and once I have a good melody, and then I try to think of a few concepts of the song. If one concept doesn't work, switch it out, and then try to find melodies and lyrics. And yeah, it's usually melodies before lyrics for me. And once I got lyrics, I try to record them as quickly as possible before I forget. So like I write and record as I go. So.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, that's a good thing to do. It keeps you fresh, and it keeps you, like you say, you don't forget it right away. Sometimes you're busy doing something and you don't have time to write something down that comes to your head. So that's a good way to do it.
Exactly.
So now, were you doing some live gigs and live performances before this darn COVID thing happened?
Apart from the live performance with Nelly Furtado, under the name Mattmac, not really.
Right.
But I used to sing. I used to go sing at a lot of Indigenous gospel jamborees around.
Yep.
So that's something I used to do a lot.
Yeah. So you're an experienced singer.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I want you to help me pronounce something here, because I want to read something that I think is pretty impressive. And you just talked about Nelly Furtado, and I want to mention this. It says your career got a boost a few years ago when, now does this say Niwanan, a nonprofit organization? I'm sorry, forgive me, but I want you to tell me what that word is.
All right, it's totally fine. It's Enwi Jinan.
Enwi Jinan.
Enwi Jinan, yeah, there you go.
Okay, so your career 4 years ago, when Enwi Jinan, a nonprofit organization that features a mobile recording studio, visited your high school. The group works with Indigenous schools and communities across Canada, and you were one of the students from the high school chosen to record a song titled Help You See. Upon hearing the song, Canadian singer Nelly Furtado asked Mattmac to help her perform it at WE Day celebrations in Winnipeg and Ottawa in 2017. Man, tell me what that was like, bud, because it's all on video. I watched it all, and it was so heartwarming. But tell me what that was like, what that was about, and what an angel Nelly is to do something like that. But I want to hear your story, man, about all that.
Yeah, so that was such an interesting and exciting time. That was like my first real introduction to the music industry and like live performances and just the artist life. And I remember just thinking in my head, I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And I remember when Melody Furtado asked me to perform Help BC with her on stage. I was like taken aback. I was like, I can't lie. I was nervous.
I remember, let me just cut. I know you were. And I remember seeing in the video, you kind of not sure what to do when they asked you, do you want to go on stage and sing with her? I think that's in the video. And and I wasn't sure if you were going to go or not, but then it cut to you being on stage with her. So that was just over the moon. That was amazing. But carry on. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. Like you said, there was some hesitancy. That was like the first ever time meeting someone like that, someone who was a Grammy-winning artist, and here I am, a kid that literally just got to the city from the reserve. Yeah, man, it was inspiring. It was interesting, and the whole entire those two performances, it was just absolutely crazy, and it was overall a good experience.
I'm sure you thought about it a lot of nights, laying your head down to go to sleep afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you still stay in contact with her?
For a while, but then my regular high school life just started picking up, and I got busy, and then now it started happening, and yeah.
You know what's going to happen. You know she's going to call you one day and say, come do something on an album with me, right?
Yeah. She still has my number.
Yeah, it's great, man. That's absolutely amazing. Good for you. I want to go ahead and play another song that you have here. And it's called Think Too Much. And then we'll come back and talk about it as we did the last song. Folks, I have Mattmac from Garden Hill First Nation, Manitoba, 20 years old, on my show tonight. I'm very honored. This guy has grabbed my heart from videos and the songs that he writes, and that's why I reached out to him. Again, thank you to Eric Alper and David Hodges for cooperating with me to get Mattmac on the show. You know, for a bit, right up till about 7:02, we didn't think you were coming.
Yeah.
Then you made a surprise visit, and then my heart fluttered. So I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Folks, again, we have Mattmac. We're going to listen to one of his songs called Think Too Much right here on this House of Musicians radio show on Reality Radio 101.
Come on, Mattmac.
I think too much, like I'ma lose my head. So many die too young. Sometimes I feel I'm next. To all my youngest, we steady struggling. This life is yours, you can get it how you want it, yeah. So let me fill these lungs. Let me use this stress to overcome. As I sit here in the silence, I'm having trouble just to hear myself. Not really caring what the time is. Am I crazy, man? I just can't tell. I've been through the fire, back and forth from heaven and down. I've lost my desire. Give me space, cause I need to, yeah. As I'm sitting here alone, yeah. I'm just a body with a lonely soul, with nowhere else to go. I think too much, like I'ma lose my head. So many die too young. Sometimes I feel I'm next. To all my youngest, we steady struggling. This life is yours, you can get it how you want it, yeah. So let me fill these lungs. Let me use this stress to overcome. So many times I wonder, is this all a lie? Will it come to an end? I just don't understand why. I got too close, I don't know why I try. Paranoia got me feeling like I'm gonna die. Overthinking in my thoughts, I'm thinking emotionally breaking, mentally broken, yeah. As I'm sitting here alone, yeah. I'm just a body like I'ma lose my head. So many die too young. Sometimes I feel I'm next. To all my youngest, we steady struggling. This life is yours, you can get it how you want it, yeah. So let me fill these lungs. Let me use this stress to overcome. Let me use this stress to overcome. Let me use this stress to overcome. Like I'ma lose my head. So many times too young. Sometimes I feel I'm next.
Hey, welcome back, good listeners. I have Mattmac on the show tonight, all the way from Manitoba. Let's talk about Think Too Much, Mattmac. Where did that come from, my friend?
Yeah, so the song is mainly talking about my struggles with just some mental struggles that I deal with. I was going through some like rough times, and I remember thinking on it. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to cope with this. So I wrote a song. Ultimately, I wrote a song about overthinking, and being in my head a lot, and that's what the song was mainly about.
Yeah, Think Too Much. And isn't it, did you feel better after? Isn't it true that when you're down and out or you're not feeling good and yet you write a song and then you record it maybe or just record it at home, it makes you feel so much better. And it's like it lifts that burden of whatever the problem was. It kind of lifts it away.
Yeah, for me, it did. The song was, took a while to finish, but after it was done, I felt, in a way, I felt like it was needed, and I was glad with how the song came out, and I was glad with how the song was, how the lyrics came together, and it was great. And I feel like a lot of people could relate, especially like young people going through some struggles, and they have some like internal battles in their brain because growing up you tend to have a lot of those.
It's not easy growing up, especially becoming a teenager and trying to figure stuff out. It's certainly not easy. We've all been there. That's for sure. But it looks like you have done an amazing bunch of work here to subside that kind of any kind of issues that you're having. So keep up the good work. I want to ask you about Paradise. I know it was your first, I believe, music video that was produced online. Let's talk about Paradise. I absolutely love that song and where it came from.
Yeah. So Paradise. It's funny. The instrumental, I remember when I produced the beat for Paradise, it was like a month before I actually sat down and written and recorded. The song is mainly talking about when I was writing the song, I was mainly thinking about, I was really reminiscing on like past relationships and sharing the summer with your individual other, and having good memories with them. And that's what I was thinking about. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a summer song. I want to make a song that sounds like Paradise. And I was like, wait a minute. And a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, wait a minute. In my computer, I have a beat called Paradise. So I opened it up and I was like, I made this like about a month ago. But like originally I gave the original Paradise beat to another artist. I was like, okay. So I reached out to the artist and I was like, hey man, about the beat I gave you last week, do you mind if I take it back and like kind of write to it? And he was like, yeah, I haven't even started anything to it. He was like, go for it. So I remember like the first, I remember when I recorded Paradise. It was oddly enough, the summer song was recorded in the middle of winter on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Right after like everything was done, and it was like 12, 1, 2, 3. I wasn't really doing too much. It was quiet for the time being, and I was like, I wanted to record, so I did. And I remember when we were done, when I finished up the song, or the original song was only like 2 minutes. So I remember showing the song to David, and he was David Hodges, and he was like, "Bro, this is gonna be a radio hit." And he was like, "We gotta make it longer though." A few months later, we made it longer, and there came Paradise. So.
Good for you. Premiered September 24th, 2020. You have 82,884 views on that YouTube video, Paradise, folks. Check out this video. It's amazing. You got 414 comments, which is, not something that everybody gets on YouTube. It's made a lot easier to get comments on Facebook and these other social medias. YouTube's not a place that people usually post stuff, but you have a lot of cool comments here. Let me read one from Sav Customs. This song is straight heat. Mad respect with what you're doing. Huge inspiration. Keep up the hard work. Again, mad respect, bro. Dude, you're amazing. Thank you for everything. Amazing tunes. We're stronger because of you. That's from DM. We're with you all the way, brother. So you have a lot of people backing you. Like I say, that's pretty impressive to have 82, almost 83,000 views on that video, and it's going to keep growing. Mattmac, the beauty thing about what you're doing too is you're only 20 years old, but when you're long gone from this earth, these videos and your songs that you wrote will be here long after you're gone to inspire other people. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard, my friend.
I really appreciate that.
If you had any advice to give to any upcoming musicians, young kids, what would it be?
Let's see. Look, no matter where you come from, no matter what you identify as, no matter what your race is, if you have something that you really want to pursue, go for it. If you're passionate enough, if you're committed enough, get it. But get there. That's something that I really needed to hear like 3 or 4 years ago.
Who told you that?
I said that's something I really needed to hear like 4 years ago, and
I see.
Now that I have this platform, I love. I can't stress enough. Like I can't stress enough. Like I'm a blind kid that's from the reserve, and my favorite type of music that I've always wanted to make is rap. And for the longest time ever, like there's a lot of like production tricks that you hear on like a lot of top 40 music or like a lot of rap music or EDM music. Is like I wanted to do that, and I felt like I couldn't because of like who I was or like who for my disability. But I worked around it because I really wanted it. And if you really want something, and if you're really passionate about it, if you have a dream, follow it. You'll get to it no matter how difficult it gets.
Good for you, buddy. And I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of young people. What did I want to ask you now? Oh boy. What do you do in your spare time, bud? If you're not doing production or writing songs, what do you usually do?
I talk to a lot of online friends. I spend a lot of time with my family, my mom, my nieces and nephews, my nieces and nephews, and just hanging out with them, going for car rides with my mom, and just going about in the community. Other than that, just tinkering with looking at social media, watching YouTube videos, scrolling through scrolling through a lot of social media. And other than that, I like to listen to, let's see, I like to listen to a lot of music, of course. I like to watch videos. That's basically it.
So are you a rock star in your community? When you go out and walk down the street, is everyone like, hey, Mattmac, how are you, man?
It's been like that lately.
Good for you, buddy.
Like
That's so cool. Good for you. Well deserved. And how do you feel? It makes you feel good, eh?
It's like everybody in my family says like my nieces and nephews, they like tell me like, oh, every time they see me on like a social media ad or like a video of me or like something like that, it's like they say like, oh, look, Uncle's famous. And like I tell them, bro, you guys, I'm not famous, but okay. I guess I am in your mind.
Yeah, man, that's just amazing. And like, let's just face it. Let's be real. You come from a First Nation reserve, not the easiest place to grow up. You have another disability, which is you're blind, and look at what you've accomplished coming from there. Good for you. We're all very proud of you, and I'm going to continue to follow your progress. Hey, what are you working on at the moment, bud?
So right now, I've been working for a while on my next project, actually, and hopefully I'm about to gear up to release some new music soon, hopefully. So I've just been working on more music. I'm working on like beats. I make beats every day, so
cool.
That's something that I do a lot. So I've just been working on possible concepts for like possible future song concepts. Started to record some demos. I just recorded a demo today, and writing and recording and producing. That's what I'm doing right now for the next project.
Good for you, bud. Keep up the hard work. There's a segment of the show that I like to do, Mattmac, called Well, Gary, what do you think?
Well, I'm impressed. I'll tell you why. I'm going to mirror exactly what you said, Barry. You know, Matthew has a disability, and not to put reference on that or weight on that, but as you say, in the world of multi-track recording software, figuring out shortcuts, doing everything, it's hard enough without a visual disability. And for him to overcome and to track properly and to mix and everything else, I'm really impressed with that as a producer and an engineer. So hats off, and I wish you the best. I mean, you're a young man. Just think if you pursue what's going to happen in another 4 to 5 years, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, I've always loved like audio and technology behind audio, and it's just something that I've liked in general. So
absolutely, you did a really good job producing this stuff. I'm listening to this stuff with some real high-end headphones, and I can hear every little intrinsity of every little thing that goes over the air, and it sounds fantastic. So yeah. Good job.
You want to know a little secret?
Pardon me?
You want to know a little secret?
Well, I'm not listening on speakers. I'm listening through headphones, but I do have some...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I listen to playback for recordings and stuff, I use high-end different speakers, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So usually, this is just a little bit of information for you, just to, give you some little insight into like a bit more of like me a little bit, just a little quick thing. But all of the effects, all of the just for the tech people out there, everybody who loves mixing and stuff like that, all of the stuff that you hear on my project, all of like the mixing, all the EQ, all the vocal chain, all that is stock Logic.
Okay, very cool. You just plug them.
Logic. So.
I hope they give you some money because you just plug their software and plugins.
Yeah.
Good. Obviously, you love them, Mattmac, so that's good, and it works good for you.
It does.
Good
Absolutely
for you.
Does.
Well, you know what? I'm honored to have you on the show. I think you're going to do really well. You have your whole life ahead of you. Keep writing, keep working hard. Don't let anyone discourage you. The music business is not the easiest thing to navigate through. So you got to be careful who you be careful who you shake hands with, my friend. But I know you have a lot of people looking out for you. I'm sure you'll be fine. We wish you all the best. I'm going to follow your progress, and we'll get you back on the show when you have an album or another song out, maybe in 6 months or a year from now. I'd be honored to have you back on the show, Mattmac. Thank you so much for being here.
And Barry, could I give Mattmac a little bit of advice really quick? 2 seconds?
Of course.
Listen, my friend, buy yourself a really, really good, high-end, high-tech pen, because you're going to need it in the future to sign autographs.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Mattmac. I'm sure you've already signed quite a few.
My terrible signature will tell the story.
Well, it'll get better as you get older.
Yeah, I hope so.
Guys maybe work on that. Artists work on that sometimes. I've seen some autographs that look like a 2-year-old scribbled it, and then I've seen some that are really, really nice. So, again, Mac, thank you so much for being...
that 2-year-old was possibly me. That was like over 20 years ago.
There you go, eh? Hey, man, we love your stuff. We love what you're doing. We're going to keep following your progress. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. And to the listener, I say thank you for being here. Always dance and sing, and let the music bring your soul to the surface for all the world to see. Until next time, have a shuffle your feet kind of week, and good night. You've been listening to This House of Musicians on Reality Radio 101.